Story number 1. The music thumped through the old farmhouse, drowning out the laughter and shouts of 30 teenagers crammed into the living room. The air was thick with sweat, smoke, and the scent of cheap beer. Jack leaned against the wall watching his friends dance. He felt a mix of excitement and unease. This was his first real party, away from the watchful eyes of his parents, and he wanted to enjoy every moment. He glanced out the window. The moon hung low, casting eerie shadows across the fields. Beyond the glow, the rural landscape seemed to breathe, dark and mysterious. It was a perfect night for a party, or something else entirely. The chaos inside echoed. Someone spilled a drink, laughter erupted, and a few kids stumbled outside for fresh air. Jack stayed put, his heart racing. He was drawn to the thrill, but also anxious. He had heard stories about this place, rumors of strange happenings, whispers of a cult that roamed through these backwoods.
"Hey, Jack,"
called Emily, a girl with a bright smile and an infectious laugh. She waved him over, her eyes sparkling with mischief.
"Come dance."
He hesitated, but her energy pulled him in. He moved closer, letting the music swallow him. They danced, lost in the rhythm. For a while, everything felt normal, but that feeling didn't last long. Suddenly, a loud noise broke through the music. It sounded like a car, but the engine was guttural, almost growling. The party quieted, curiosity hanging heavy in the air. Jack, caught between excitement and dread, exchanged glances with Emily.
"Go check it out,"
someone shouted, and a group of kids rushed to the door. Jack followed, his heart thumping in his chest. Outside, the night was still. The moonlight illuminated a vehicle. It was old, nondescript, and parked at the end of the long gravel driveway. The headlights were off, but a low hum emanated from it. Jack felt a shiver crawl down his spine.
"Who drives a car like that?"
whispered one of the boys. Jack didn't have an answer. Then, the door creaked open. A figure stepped out, cloaked in shadows. The teens shifted nervously. Jack's breath hitched in his throat.
"Let's go back inside,"
he suggested, trying to sound casual, but the words felt heavy, like a warning he wasn't ready to accept. Before anyone could react, the figure moved closer. It wore a hood that obscured its face, but Jack could sense an unsettling energy. It wasn't just the figure, it was the entire atmosphere. Something was wrong. The figure raised a hand, and Jack felt a compulsion to step forward. It was as if the air thickened with a pull, like gravity had shifted. He fought against it. He wasn't alone. Others were hesitating too, their bodies locked in a mixture of fear and curiosity.
"Hey, who are you?"
shouted Emily, her voice trembling. The figure paused, then gestured towards the group. Jack felt the urge to turn and run, but fear held him in place.
"Get back,"
he yelled, stepping in front of Emily.
"Stay away from us."
Suddenly, the figure lunged forward and chaos erupted. The kids screamed, confusion erupted, and everyone scrambled for the door. Jack grabbed Emily's hand, pulling her towards safety. But in the frenzy, he saw someone fall. It was Derek, a guy from school. The figure had grabbed him, yanking him back towards the shadowy car.
"Help!"
Derek's voice pierced through the night, raw and desperate. Jack's heart raced. He could feel the panic spreading like wildfire. The other kids were frozen, unsure of what to do. Jack looked at Emily, her eyes wide with fear.
"Stay here,"
he shouted as he broke away from her grasp. He couldn't let Derek go, not like this. Jack sprinted towards the figure, adrenaline coursing through him. He could hear the others yelling, but he focused on Derek. He reached out, grabbing the back of Derek's shirt.
"Let him go,"
Jack shouted, pulling with all of his strength. The figure turned, his hood falling back. Jack gasped. The face was twisted, a mask of despair and rage. Eyes that seemed void of humanity stared back at him. Jack's grip faltered as he stumbled back, but Derek was still in reach. With one powerful pull, Jack yanked Derek free. They both tumbled to the ground, rolling away from the figure. The others were finally moving, shifting towards the house, but the figure was relentless. It stepped closer, a dark presence that seemed to swallow the light around it. Jack felt that same pull, stronger now.
Run!
He yelled, scrambling to his feet. They dashed towards the house, the door slamming shut behind them. Breathless, Jack leaned against the wall, heart racing. The sound of pounding footsteps echoed outside. The figure was still here, waiting, watching. Jack's mind raced. They were trapped.
Call the police.
Someone shouted. Jack grabbed his phone, hands shaking. He dialed, but the call failed to connect. A chill ran through him. The stories he heard were real. They were being hunted. Then, silence. The pounding stopped. Jack peered through the window. The figure had vanished, but the oppressive feeling lingered. The party slowly returned to a tense normalcy. Laughter turned into hushed whispers. Derek was pale and shaken. Jack felt a mix of relief and dread. They had escaped, but at what cost? As the night wore on, they sat in silence, the glow of the moon casting shadows around them. They were safe, but the fear would linger. The tales of the cult, the darkness that had approached them, had a way of embedding themselves in the mind. Jack looked at Emily and she met his gaze. The relief in her eyes was mixed with something else, a shared understanding of the darkness that lurked just outside. It was a night they would never forget. The party would end, but the fear, that would stay with them. A bittersweet reminder of hope and loss, forever etched in memory. Story number 2. The music thumped against the walls, a pulsing heartbeat that matched the excitement in the air. Laughter and shouts filled the old farmhouse, echoing through the dimly lit rooms. At 16, Sarah felt invincible among her friends. They had come to this remote house to escape the world, to celebrate life in a way only teenagers could. Outside, the moon hung low, casting silver beams across the field. The stars twinkled overhead, distant and cold. Sarah glanced out the window, feeling a twinge of unease. The isolation was both thrilling and unnerving. She brushed it off and joined her friends in the living room, where a game of truth or dare had begun.
Dare.
Lily shouted, her best friend with a gleeful grin plastered on her face. Sarah felt a surge of warmth as they laughed, forgetting the chill in the air. But then a strange sound sliced through the revelry. A car engine growled far too close for comfort. Sarah's heart raced as she glanced back at the window. A dark vehicle unlike anything she had ever seen loomed at the end of the driveway. The headlights cut through the darkness, two glowing eyes watching them.
Is anyone else seeing that?
Sarah asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Her friends shrugged it off, too wrapped up in their game to notice, but Sarah couldn't shake the feeling of dread creeping over her. She stepped outside, the cool night air hitting her skin. The car sat still, a black silhouette against the night. No one got out.
Hey, Sarah, come on.
Lily called, her voice echoing from inside. Sarah hesitated. The urge to return to the warmth and laughter battled against a growing sense of foreboding. She turned back towards the house just as a figure emerged from the vehicle. A man, tall and cloaked in shadows. His face was obscured, but the way he moved felt wrong, like a predator stalking its prey. Sarah, Lily's voice rang out, pulling her back into the party. She shook her head, trying to focus, but that figure lingered in her mind, a shadow that wouldn't fade. The game continued, but Sarah's heart wasn't in it. Every laugh felt forced, every cheer a mask. The walls seemed to close in, the air thick with tension. When someone dared Lily to go outside and check the car, Sarah's stomach dropped.
Don't do it,
she shouted, rushing to grab her friend's arm. Lily frowned, confused.
It's just a car. You're being paranoid.
Sarah could feel a cold sweat growing down her neck.
Please, just stay in here.
But the moment passed. Lily shrugged her off and marched outside, the bravado of youth guiding her steps. Sarah followed, heart pounding. Outside, the night felt heavier. Sarah's breath fogged in front of her as she watched Lily approach the car. The figure stood there, still as a stone, Sarah could see the glint of metal in the man's hand. A knife.
Lily, come back.
Sarah screamed, panic rising like bile in her throat. In an instant, the man lunged, grabbed Lily by the arm. The world slowed. Sarah felt a scream lodge in her throat, a sound that wouldn't break free.
Help! Someone help!
Lily cried, struggling against the man's grip. Sarah dashed forward, adrenaline fueling her limbs. She grabbed a nearby rock, swinging at the man with all of her strength. It hit him, and for a moment he released Lily, just long enough for her to pull away. But the man was quick. He lunged again, grabbing Sarah's wrist instead, his grip like iron.
Run!
Sarah screamed at Lily, shoving her away. Lily pulled back towards the house, fear etched on her face. Sarah's heart raced, but she didn't freeze. She kicked the man in the leg, feeling a surge of defiance. He stumbled back, but not for long. She turned and ran, her feet pounding against the ground. Behind her, she heard the footsteps, heavy, relentless. She burst through the door, yelling for everyone to get out. The party came to a screeching halt, confusion erupting.
Call the police!
Sarah shouted, breathless. But before anyone could react, the man appeared in the doorway, face illuminated by the light. It was a face she would never forget, hollow eyes and a twisted grin. He lunged for Sarah once more, but the crowd surged forward. Someone tackled him and the struggle began. Sarah stood back up, heart pounding. She watched as her friends fought, fear transforming into a raw, animalistic will to survive. When the police finally arrived, the man was subdued. Relief washed over her, but it was bittersweet. Lily was shaken but unharmed, a small victory in a night filled with horror. As the sirens wailed in the distance, Sarah realized they had escaped, but the weight of the night lingered. They would go home, but a shadow would always hang over them. In the end, they were alive, but something had changed. They would never be the same. The night off the grid had turned into a nightmare, a lesson etched deeply into their hearts. Thank you guys for watching and listening to the very end of this video. If you're new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe for future content. And like I always say, if you would like your true scary story featured on an upcoming video, email my email in the description box below as well to be featured. Please comment in the comment section as well on story themes you want to hear in the near future. I want your guys' input as well, as this is not just my channel, but our channel. Until we meet again, my friends, stay safe out there.